Yes, people. Welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. Newcastle United are through for the first time ever to the round of 16 of the UEFA Champions League. And as I can see in a comment there, keep your comments coming in. Hit subscribe, hit like if you haven't already. Someone's saying there, Mark, only Newcastle can make you feel so deflated after a convincing win. And there's some truth in that. And that's why I've put in the title, Strange but Successful Night. And I'm here spending the night in a Premier Inn in London, working down here for the next couple of days. So it wasn't at the game tonight, and there was a part of us I was like, oh, good. You know what I mean? I'm still good. It's always great to be at the game and see us get through in a Champions League match. And I thought we're going to set the record here. No doubt about it. You know, we were still one goal away from equalising the record ever. We have 13 goals across the Champions League tie. That's a record. That's a joint record across 3 different matches. And you thought, surely Newcastle go out tonight, blow them away. We've got 6 at their place, get another few. Even if it's 3-4-0, 5-0, happy days. And it's still happy days. Like I say, it's job done. It was always going to be a bit of a strange one this tonight, I thought. You know, when you've won 6-1 and we know the game's done, it's a weird kind of motivation and energy and about the place. But for me, it should always be about the fans that are there. You know, it should be about the 51,000 that still turned up tonight, even after the 6-1 win, even when the prices were still high. I've seen a lot of people talk about the ticket prices and how they should have been lowered and stuff. Still 51,000 then. There would have been more if there was more given up. I don't know why the Qarabag section wasn't available for Newcastle fans as well, when they normally add it and split it extra if the away section doesn't sell out. But fair play to those 50 to 100 fans that travelled from Baku, and fair play at Qarabag night. You know, I think we got lucky. I think we actually got lucky. I think they deserved more. You know, Qarabag were a real threat. Like that second half, they were all over us. You know, Ramsey made a couple of saves. I thought he was unlucky from the pen, but he made a couple of stops and they were dangerous. And I have to say, for me, I think Howe got it wrong when he kind of just put people in wrong positions. I don't think there was any need to bring Lewis Hall on and give him extra minutes when he's had way too much game time already. I thought that was a bit mad. I think putting Dan Burn at right centre-back when he's always on the left centre-back or left-back, need. He got caught out. Pace was done every time. Trippier starting, I thought, was just berserk. You know, 35 years old and playing 3 games a week all the time for ages now without Livramento. And then he goes off. And it's not Shaw that doesn't come on. We'll get into him who did come on eventually. But it's Jacob Murphy, who then, I thought it was a nice moment, giving him the captain's armband. He's been at the club for 9 seasons. It's his birthday today. But he's coming in at right back when he hasn't had a good game at all on the right wing. He really hadn't. And I just thought, why we're doing this? Why we're putting the winger at right back, bringing the left back on who needs a rest, doesn't need more bloody minutes. Being left centre-back as right centre-back. I was pleased Alex Murphy started. I thought that was one positive, and he had a great sliding challenge in that first half and did well. But as I mentioned before, you know, when you look at the stats and just watching the game as well, but I'm sure Qarabag must have had just as many, if not more, shots on target than us. Let's have a look. Oh, no, because we had 2 in stoppage time. So when I did look before stoppage time, we both had 6, but then there was a late couple of shots there, which came to nothing from the likes of Harvey Barnes and that, and was it Baltimore with another one? Anyway, 66% possession for Newcastle, 8 shots on target to Qarabag's 6, 19 in total to their 13, but 6 shots on target for Qarabag at St. James's Park when they were 6-1 down. Fair play. They were good tonight. The striker who went off injured as well, that's unlucky for him. He was good. Obviously, great finish from him. Really good finish. I thought some of their players looked smart, to be fair. After the first few minutes where you think we're going to boss it, you know, I thought that Jankovic was good in midfield. I thought Montiel and Duran up front were really good. But Newcastle, very odd game. Perfect start. Perfect opening. You've got a 2-goal lead within 5-6 minutes. 80 seconds is what separated Tonali and Joelinton's opening goals. I thought Joelinton's finish was class, and I thought he was brilliant, and he was raging to come off. And, you know, rightfully so, he didn't want to come off. He was having fun out there. He was our best player, in my opinion. Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you do want your comment guaranteed to be read out, then just hire a little super chat in there and support the channel. In Tonali and Joelinton midfield, very good. But then we just sat off. And I said it's an odd one. It's a difficult one because when you are 8-1 up, then you are going to naturally sit off in a way. But again, I think there just has to be that motivation and energy there to perform for the fans that have turned up. on a February Tuesday night and paid good money for the ticket, no matter if you're 8-1 up or 18-1 up, you should be performing better than that. After the 2-0, I just thought, we really took the foot off, allowed Qarabag back in. I think the subs and the formation needed change. And then when, like I said before, the back four that did come in didn't impress. And what I'm going to say tonight is lots of players didn't impress. And it's got me, like I say it, you don't want to be negative. You don't want to, but I'm just saying how I say it. But we're through with the last 16, which is amazing, which is brilliant. Can't wait for the draw on Friday. Chelsea or Barcelona. The lads did fantastic out in Baku last week. We made 6 changes tonight. And the point I'm coming to is that a lot of those lads that came in, who you think it's a great opportunity for you, didn't do enough. And it makes me worry about the lack of quality in this squad. For example, William Asula, who comes on tonight. And, I was sticking up for Asula earlier in the season because he was good earlier in the season. He got his injury. Kind of looking for him to come back and rotate. Thirsty work, all this bloody travelling down here. Trains and taxis and all that. Middle of nowhere. And this Lenny Henry Premier in. But William Asula would have rather had Lenny Henry up front, to be honest. Henry in, Asula out. William Asula there tonight. Just when you think it's, we've said Qarabag did well, which they did, but at the same time, against that level of opposition, with that scoreline that we've currently got, you've got to be doing better there. You've got to be performing better, showing more, taking your opportunity, grasping the game and making something happen. And Shearer said it in comms as well. He's like 100 miles an hour. He tries to make things happen. He's like panicking on the ball and trying to do step overs and little things and fast. Everything's rushed and panic. And it's like, how can't you take your time and just perform a bit better against them? For me, I think Asula was a good opportunity for him tonight, and he didn't take his chance. I mentioned Alex Murphy. I thought he did well enough. I thought he was alright. Just going through the team there now. Sven Botman, I thought, was having a nightmare. I think Botman was all over the shot. He gave the ball away in some dangerous areas a couple of times and got us into some bother. Yes, he scored a good header at the end, which was nice, and then he came off. Dan Burn as well, especially when it went to right back, just really struggled with the pace. It's one of them ones where you think, we need to be playing these mid-30-year-olds against Qarabag with a 6-1 lead, 8-1 after 10 minutes. No. Tonali was really good tonight. I thought he was back to his best, even though he's frustrated at times early on, but he was class when he got into things. And, even at the end there, the graft he's putting in, the engine on him, the effort, when you're obviously well ahead on aggregate, 9-3, the ties completely over, but he's going for it and he's still grafting and putting in 110% and getting into scraps, which is a bit unnecessary. Mentioned Joelinton, how good he was tonight, my man of the match. Thought he was fantastic, really good volley as well. He got taken off and he wasn't happy at that, and fair play. I don't think any player should be, and it'd be more worrying if he was happy about coming off. But he was 1 yellow away from missing the next game, so that was a good decision by anyhow. I said, other things I don't think the subs were right, but that one I agree with, because if he gets another yellow, then he misses the last 16 first leg, which would be a pointless blow. Voltemada. Oh, man. Nick Voltemada. Shearer on commentary was saying, why is he so deep? Get him further forward. And it's bizarre why he wasn't further forward. I think it's strange why we had that midfield there, why he's so deep. We don't need it, We don't need someone there for that midfield for a forward to be that deep. Just get him in and around the box more. And then he literally did get in and around the box right before half-time and had a lovely bit of ball control and a great touch too. Should have been an assist. Murphy was actually onside, even though it was given offside, so it would have went to VAR and it would have counted, but Jacob Murphy dragged his effort away. But that was a lovely bit of play by Nick Voltemada. But he's dropping in. He was further back than Tonali and Joelinton, man. What the hell is he doing all the way back there? He was so far back, but it just wasn't his night. He was giving the ball away. He was sloppy. He was getting beaten off the ball a bit. And I thought, oh, man, Nick, there's no one that wants him to do well more. There's no one that's saying that I think he is an 9. He's shown it for Germany for me. Or that 10, where he played a bit of that with Stuttgart. He played more with the 2 up top or some like 2 right around him. So it's just a lack of confidence, even though he scored at Villa the other week. It's this game tonight, which, Big Al was saying, you need to get your confidence. So get in the box, have a shot, get a goal, get a lift. Nowhere to be seen. I thought he really, really struggled. Apart from that lovely little flick, it's just, Voltemada. it's for a whole another video for a podcast discussion. I think that performance and what we do going forward. Because yes, he's dropped deeper lately. We've done well. We've won the games, but if we're being serious, it's not like a long term answer for me. It's still a bit mad. Jacob Murphy was said, I don't think he had a very good game at all on his birthday. I thought that's another area where you think, well, could we do with some strengthening there? Yes. We've got Alanga in the summer for big money. He hasn't done it at all. But then Murphy had a great season last year, but now with no Isaac and tonight and this season, he's dropped off massively. Unfortunately, not quite producing what he did in previous seasons. And I just look at the bench, right? Because we're seeing there that Bain shouldn't be playing right centre back, and why is Trippier still playing, and a few others. And it's the case of like Leo Shaw, well done to him for coming on. Great moment for him, 18 years old, Champions League, getting some good cheers, a lovely first touch around the man. Just surely what are you going to lose with starting him? Like, you knew we were going to get beat tonight, like beat overall. We could have definitely got beat, but we weren't going to get knocked out the tie. With the 6-1 advantage, we weren't going to get knocked out. Surely Trippier could do with the rest. He still played, 55, 60 minutes. What was it exactly? Yeah, 54 minutes. So there's just no need for that, like, for me, and Shaw not even coming on at that point. Shaw not even coming on with 54 minutes in. I thought, Murphy getting started in the right back. Nini, Shaw should have came on sooner. Good to see him get his debut though. Would love to see more of him. And you look at that bench because Lewis Hall comes on, which again, mad. He's played so much football and he's what he's like in and out of injuries, so we didn't need to do that. But there's actually no other defenders on there. Is there not other defenders at the club that could be on the bench and come on for a Dan Burn at right back when you've won the tie? I just think it's bizarre. It really is. You got Ruddy, Harris, and Pope on the bench. What in what world are you going to need 3 goalkeepers? And Rooney said it before the game. He was like, "Oh, sometimes it's a message to the board, that the manager needs strengthening. He needs more transfers to boost up the squad." That's all good and well, but we're not in a transfer window. Just bloody being in one and didn't out. So when you've got a game like this, when you're so high up, surely you wouldn't give someone else a chance, or even just drop someone in there. Really put Voldemort centre back at this point. Jesus Christ. And then Sean Neave didn't come on, which was disappointing because I think he did well when he came on in Baku last week. He nearly scored. That's a shame for him. Good little positives is that, Johan Wisser comes on and gets minutes after another injury. He comes on and gets minutes and had a bit of action in and around the box and was in the right position once or twice and just didn't fall to him. Pivas, there you go. Someone in the comments there saying Pivas, exactly, another young defender. He's got to be good enough to be playing Qarabag for 20 minutes at least, Jesus, man. So Wisser coming on, would obviously need to see a lot more of him. Been very disappointing so far in a black and white shirt as our number 9. But the injury that he picked up at the start of the season for Congo has completely wrecked him. He looks like he needs a whole pre-season, and this season's a bloody write-off in February. So minutes for him coming back, though, from this knock that he's suffered with the last couple of weeks. So we need him up and running and amongst the goals. Gordon came on, posed a bit of a threat, did a couple of nice runs from the left as well when he swapped over there. Was obviously looking at his goal tally after getting 4 last week there, but he couldn't do it. Listen, at the end of the day, we are in the Champions League last 16, which is class, which is amazing, absolutely buzzing. Can't wait to see who we get. Either way, if it's Barcelona, bring them on. Could be like another classic back in the day. At their place, it'd be very tough, but it'd be a great trip. And then at St. James Park, under the lights, it could be something special. Chelsea, over 2 legs, you'd think would be the easier tie. So I'm happy either way. And it does give way a decent enough look into the quarterfinal if we can sort ourselves out. Because, I see some comments earlier on saying, I've lost confidence now after that win. And it's funny that you win 9-3 in aggregate. It's like, oh. And I feel that tonight, though. There is a bit of worry there and a bit of concern over squad depth and, just the way we performed that night. I don't think it was very good. I thought it was complacent and just a bit off. But I guess, as we said earlier, it's hard to do that when you have got such a big goal advantage. I don't know. And you make several changes and the people that do come on don't play well enough. It's a funny old game, but at least Newcastle are through. Job done. Last 16 of the Champions League. Let's see who we're getting. Let me know what you think of it, and if you fancy us going forward, how far we'll go in this competition. What did you make of the game? Who played well? Who didn't for us? Little fly through some of your comments here before I sign off for the night. Asula's never going to be good enough. Says little G there. On here to say, but I honestly think we are going to struggle to fit Big Nick in this team. I do, because Eddie Howe clearly does. I like Big Nick, but looks like he's never going to be a player for Eddie Howe. So we've said it in a couple of videos now. You wouldn't be surprised, would you? You wouldn't be surprised if if we sold him in the summer. I mean, how mad's that after a year of paying 69 million for him? And he'll go to Bayern Munich, or you could go somewhere else and he'd be bloody brilliant. I'm telling you now. Question there. I would take 30 million for Worcester in the summer. I mean, at this rate, do you know what I mean? What else are you saying in the chat? I don't believe Howe is being truthful about Nick being happy playing the 8, and I think it's showing. He was poor, like. Needs to rotate more. Shaw should have got more minutes. Definitely should have. Very strange game. She's Craig. It was. It had that strange atmosphere to it as well. Strange on the pitch. Weird. Aaron then not happy with Eddie's game management. Again, there's a couple of things like I said, that keep playing Trippier, moving Bain to right centre back, Hall bringing on Hall left back. I was thinking, what do you imagine if Hall got injured or in the situation and then it's just unnecessary risk for me. So I'm glad Shaw came on in the end and got a chance, and Murphy started, but it could have just been a bit more, I think. Shieldsy there, Negligence, bringing, I know, it's true, like, just need. But let's finish off on a positive. We're through to the last 16. We'll look forward to the next round. Newcastle before tonight, we won tonight 3-2, but fair play to Qarabag. I thought they were good. But before that, we've been on a really good run. Even Man City was a good performance, and then 3 big away wins previously. So hopefully Saturday comes around and we can get a win in the Premier League against Everton at St James Park. That'll be more of a barometer of where we're going and how we are looking, because it's good to be back home, isn't it, after those away games, but we need to be turning up better than that. But it's just always going to be a bit of a tricky one tonight with the scoreline, with the changes. Never mind. Job's done, and we're through to the knockouts of the Champions League for the first time over the last 16. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please subscribe if you haven't already to the Magpie Channel TV. Hit like and enjoy yourself.